Do you have preset, designed boundaries with your clients? Hi, this is Bill. This is Creative License, and thanks again for being a part of this little dog and pony show that I do every week. If you have a chance to thank my sponsors by reaching out to them for some of the things that you need, I'd appreciate that. You can look down in the comments below and it'll tell you all about it. Boundaries. Why am I talking about boundaries today? Well, it's because it seems that many of my colleagues, including myself over the years, have been used to solve problems for the client that have little to do with whether or not you're an entertainer. I'll give you an example. Somebody on Facebook was talking about how the couple are not taking the bride's not taking the groom's name, and the groom is going to take the name of the bride's family. Now, weird, right? So, and there was more detail to it. Like, I think he, the father of the bride was the stepdad, but they weren't taking that name. They were taking the birth father's name, who nobody likes. And they're all going to be at the wedding. And the first time anybody's talked about this is going to be when the DJ announces them with the new name for the first time during the first dance. So he reached out to all of us and said, what the hell am I supposed to do? Well, that's a good question. What the hell are you supposed to do? If you ask me, what you're supposed to do is to say no. No, that's a boundary within a family. That's a grenade that you're being asked to pull the pin on and throw into the room before the celebration of this amazing day. I mean, before I would say no, probably would say no, and then I would say, why in the world would you want me to do this? And then try to get to the reason. If it's just because they don't have the courage, then you're not getting paid enough. I really think that if this would have come up with me much earlier, and I would have said to them, no, I can't do that. I'm not getting paid to do that. And it will put a big damper on your party. That'll be the outcome. If I did it, my job now is over. Because you're going to have a big angry hole of awkward in the room for the rest of the night. And then you're asking me to create angry hole of awkward and then build myself out of it. And that's not fair to your guests. That's not fair to the people you love. And it makes it difficult for me to deliver on what you're trying to have. Unless, of course, what you're trying to create is a big hole of angry awkward. You know, I've never had a client tell me that was what they're trying to do. They just were afraid. Because I've had something like that before. Nothing as terrible as the one that they were explaining to me online. But what it comes down to is having the boundaries enough to say to the client, no. To say to the client, let's discuss how that's going to turn out. Let's talk about why this is a bad idea and why you should not have me doing it. Because I'm not a member of your family. And they're going to be angry at me. And then they're going to be angry at you. And then the party's going to be angry and awkward and yucky. And do we really want to create that? I've never had somebody say, that's exactly what I'm trying to create, Bill. Please do that. So I'm doubt that that's what's happening. So how do you avoid these things? You need to ask a lot of questions. You need to ask a lot of these questions well ahead of time. And you need, as an expert, to be unafraid to tell them what you can and can't do and what you will and won't do. Because those boundaries will actually make you more valuable. A no for a good reason makes you way more valuable than a yes, anything you want. Because the customer is not always right. Sorry to tell you. The customer is not always right. You are. You know what's necessary to be sure that you can bring the best party for them. Now, you got to know what that is, but You are the expert. And again, you've heard a lot of people say this. I'm not the first one, but the customer is not always right. And you have to be unafraid to tell them when they're not. What do you think of this? Write down your comments below. I'd love to hear. This is Bill. This is Creative License, and I'll see you next week.